The first time I heard the Village People song, YMCA, was on a car ride through the DC adjacent suburbs in the wake of a not quite Wizard of Oz scale tornado. We were driving to ball practice held, coincidentally, perhaps, at a local YMCA. As we surveyed the cyclone's wrath from the rearward-facing back seats of the family station wagon, a horn intro and a jingle-like hook forever enamored a young me with a disco anthem celebrating making new friends in the shower by way of those cute little YMCA arm motions people do at sports games. Right then, and ever since, and right now, and always, that song will make me want to get on the couch and dance in my socks with whoever wants to dance with me. As the years boogied on, I never lost my love. A 12-inch by 72-inch big long Village People poster adorned the walls of several bedrooms. The ew / played a poo under the nose / wait a minute, is he being ironic? Look of all my punk rock friends notwithstanding. I was a Village People person. And that is Village People, by the way, not the Village People. Like Throbbing Gristle or Talking Heads, not the band or the. Cut to 10 or 15 years later, and my campy disco icons were all of a sudden hippified again. And my party mixes awash in Go West and ready for the 80s, they weren't. Suddenly I didn't have to pretend to be so ironic anymore. And what's better, fresh from a bar mitzvah near you, Village People were back on tour. I bought tickets post-haste. My first VP experience, decades in the making, was at UVA in Charlottesville. And my best friend Steve had managed to secure us backstage passes to party with the band. I brought along a copy of the only album featuring the band's then current lineup, 1981's Renaissance, which the cover imagined their look as adamant, and the record imagined their sound as Kool and the Gang meets what would happen if John Belushi's brother from the Delta House TV show started a new wave band in an 80s movie and sang about food. Yeah, that old cliche. It didn't sell so good. So, backstage after the show, they thanked me for being one of the 14 people to buy Renaissance, and were good-naturedly embarrassed as each signed next to a picture of himself looking like he came late to Spandau Ballet auditions. Felipe, the Indian, held court with a disco diatribe on how the movement, and he called it that, got orchestras, strings, brass, woodwinds working again, and people dancing together again, like it was the 1940s or something. But Glenn Hughes, the Leatherman, was one of the genuinely nicest, most interesting, soft-spoken guys I'd ever met. And we chatted for a while, and he gave me his card, and he said he'd add me to his Xerox newsletter about what goes on in a Leatherman's life, and even said he'd throw in an album that I had been looking for 10 years, this is pre-internet, which was never released in the US. And the album showed up, good as his word. And we became good pen pals. And then when they came through town or nearby, I would go see the shows, and sometimes Glenn and I would swap stories from the road, gossip from the road. Well, him being from the road, I stayed in one place. But, and then a couple of years after that, I found myself in New York with an extra ticket to the Who's Tommy on Broadway, after somebody bailed on me. Side note, I also love the Who, and I once peed next to Pete Townsend in the men's room at the Carnegie Deli. I thumbed through my mental Rolodex for people I knew in New York, reached for Glenn's card, called him, and asked him to see the show, which he said he'd been meaning to see. And that is how it went, to a Broadway musical with one of the Village People, which sounds like a euphemism, but it's not. And dining in the Village, where else, Apres show, who should buzz by our table but Felipe the Indian on roller skates, no less. I felt like I had been roofied and woke up on the set of the brain-melting and essential Village People movie, Can't Stop the Music, starring Steve Guttenberg, who was in Diner with Kevin. The Leatherman and I corresponded a few more times, and then I sent him a letter while I was prepping to relocate overseas, which he didn't answer. And so after a while I called him and the phone just rang and rang. There was no answer either. Just before embarking on my journey halfway around the world, I read on the baby internet that Glenn Hughes, age 50, had died of too many low-tar Capri cigarettes and bad luck in lung cancer. And so it was, with a suitcase full of music, the kind of music that his band first taught me to love. I said goodbye, Sister Disco, and goodbye, Broadway, and goodbye to one of the nicest guys I'd ever met. But when I came back, one of the first things I did was take the Long Island Railroad out to Farmingdale, to St. Charles Cemetery, where Glenn is buried in full biker regalia, and put a rock on his headstone and said thanks to absent friends. Thank you.